Hi, I'm Melanie from Nova Scotia, Canada, and this is Adventures in Groceryland. Today is Friday. That means this is our weekly meal video upload. And boy, did we have a busy week. This week was Labor Day, so there was a holiday. And you think a short week would be long, but it's so fast. We had company. We went visiting. I made preserves multiple times. We had some adventures ourselves. So, yeah, it's been a really busy week. But I still focused on purging some of the older items out of that freezer. And even some of my grocery items purchased were purchased with the mindset that I needed these to fill in some gaps, to use up, to make a recipe, to use up some items that I wanted to out of the freezer. Check it out. I think we had a fantastic week. We had some burgers last week, and I'd asked the handsome one to cook 2 extra burgers so that we could have a fast meal. I was kind of pre-planning for today, so I'm just going to reheat these in the microwave, of course, put them on the buns, and we have a salad left over from last night's supper, so this is just a really quick meal, which I knew that we were going to need today. Perfect. Worked out perfect. Planning works. Popping some of these bacon rounds, frozen bacon rounds, into the microwave, and we can have those on our burgers. Hamburgers and salad. Looks great. And we both had relish, the bacon, onions, and mustard, and I also had ketchup. Last week we made tacos. We used Taco Bell taco kit. It was soft tacos, but we had tons of the taco mixture. So 2 days later, we had more tacos with some hard shells that we already had in the house. Still lots of taco mixture left, but it was quite liquidy because I did it in the microwave. I did use the steamer to cook the ground beef and cooked everything in the microwave. Because there was some left, we decided we were going to have nachos tonight. However, we can't have a bunch of liquid on the nachos. It'll just make everything soggy, and that will not be good. So the handsome one, when I was running an errand, he put all of the leftover taco meat in a frying pan. We fried it a little bit to evaporate some of the liquid, and then he drained it. So this taco meat is going on these nachos, and we are having nachos for supper. The handsome one did all of the prep work while I was running the errand. So he's got onions, green peppers, mushrooms, and olives. Do you want any jalapenos on this, or just hold the jalapenos for tonight?
No.
No? Okay. The handsome one also grated some cheese for me.
And don't say this is too much cheese, because it's not too much cheese. It's never too much cheese. We're going to put all that cheese on here. This is our supper. It's 7:25. I'm hungry, and we're having lots of cheese.
I think it might be too much cheese. That was a very nice impassioned plea to use all of the cheese from the handsome one. He's now outside calling his mother. This is how much I didn't use. So the cheese, I'm actually going to put the olives on top of the cheese. He prepped all of this. This was all ready when I got home. And he says I can look in the fridge. He also made guacamole, so I will check that out as well. Looks great. I added chives from the garden. Now let's get this in the oven. Perfect. The handsome one said he was digging around in the cupboard looking for taco seasoning, but thankfully he didn't find any taco seasoning because the ground beef already was seasoned, but he found this guacamole package, and so he made this. Looks great. This looks amazing. So delicious. All I can say is our garden better start growing, and it better start growing fast. This is my last bottle of salsa. I wasn't planning on doing this tonight. It is currently 9:37, but I really do want to make these pickles tomorrow. So I'm just going to not dice them, but I'm going to wash them, slice them, and I'm going to get them soak overnight with just a little bit of pickling salt, which will draw out the moisture. And that means that when I do process these, I will end up with a crispier, crunchier pickle. All right, everything is nice and washed and clean. Let's get dicing. It's now 9:53. That didn't take that long, so 15 minutes worth of work. I've got coarse salt, or pickling salt, but this is just great value coarse salt that I bought in a great big bag a couple years ago. This is what I got left. Sprinkle this on. I'm going to stir this around, put a lid on, and then we'll get it in the fridge overnight. Ready for the fridge. I'll see you tomorrow, little pickles. It's 7 a.m. Yes, I'm going to break out the pumpkin spice this morning. It's not crazy cold, but it is cool. I have been getting my jars out. They need to be washed in prep for the pickles today. And in looking through the jars, I realized, oh, we still have jars of pickled peppers left. So I'm going to put one of those in the fridge. Now, let's check our... Oh, those look great. Very, very good. I'll give these a stir. It's not quite 12 hours yet, and I'll put them back in the fridge. This is the aftermath of the handsome one's lunch. He has been wanting to open the hazelnut spread. Yes, we need to figure out that. But he had them on bagels. We still had 2 bagels left over from last week before last. And so he had hazelnut and peanut butter. And I was going to have smoothies for lunch today, but maybe I'll have a bagel as well. And then I think that'll use up, yeah, one left of this kind, and then that'll be used up. Peanut butter for me. It's going to be an easy supper night tonight. I am going to make chicken broccoli and cheese breaded cutlets, probably with boiled potatoes. Maybe we have fries that I could have, like a super extra easy night. Or rice. I don't know. I've got to choose the side, but in the meantime, I can get these in the oven. I think I remember that I overcooked these a little bit the last time, so I'll make sure that I followed the box instructions. So we are 25 to 30 minutes. I think I'm going to put the timer on for 20 minutes, assess them then, and see if I need to put them back in for either 5 or 10. We're going to go with the wild rice blend for the win. 1 cup water, 1/2 cup rice. I just need to add the margarine or butter and stir this up, and we'll bring it to a boil. I really like this rice blend. It smells and tastes like nutty. It's very flavorful. I really enjoy it. Stuffed chicken breast with wild rice blend and garden salad. And of course, the greens are from our garden. Now I'm going to move the cucumbers into the strainer so that I can remove as much of the liquid, drain off as much of the liquid that's already come off of them as I can. It won't be as important for the ones on top because, of course, the liquid has all drained to the bottom. But once I get to the bottom, yes, definitely, I want the liquid drained off of those. As I'm getting to the bottom of the bowl, you can see all the liquid that's come out. So it's worthwhile for me to do this. Here's some dill that I just picked from the garden. These were our companion herbs in with our tomatoes. It's awesome. I've got everything ready so that I could do the bottling as fast as possible. I'm not exactly sure how much this will make. I've got 9, 10, 250 milliliter bottles prepared. And I have these stalks here, and I'm not sure if I'm going to shove them in or not. They have a really strong dill smell emanating from them, and some of this stuff doesn't have as much. So I thought I might add it in. I've got the peppercorns, a couple are going to go in each jar. I've got the pickling salt, of course, that goes on top. I've got crushed red pepper flakes, that's going to go on top. Oops, that's a little hot. Let's take the lid off of that. They don't need to be hard boiling. We'll turn that down. That's the lids and the rings. I'm just bringing my vinegar to a boil, so this is not a blend, water and vinegar. This is straight vinegar, which is what I'm going to preserve this with. And I'm keeping my jars nice and hot until it's time to prepare them. I've got a couple little extra ones there. Let's get started. I almost forgot the garlic. So in the grand scheme of things, I had the rings, I had the jars, I had the lids. I have peppercorns, I have pickling salt, I have crushed red peppers. I paid $3 for the 3 pounds of pickling cukes. And at a farm stand just down the road from my house, I paid $2 for a massive clove of garlic. Yeah, because these are going to have garlic in them. All right, this is the before. Everything is in, topped with the pickling salt and the red pepper flakes. Let's get the vinegar in. Fingers crossed these turn out okay. I have never made dill pickle slices before, or burger slices, burger dills. So we won't know for a while. We've both been really busy this morning. I've been making pickles and doing some garden work. The handsome one is doing some repair works to the base of our shed. We are getting company, so we need a quick dinner. He asked if he could have some breakfast wraps, and I thought that was a great idea, and I am going to have a Katie Deluxe 4-cheese frozen dinner. This is what's happening today. We are going to make a seafood chowder. It's going to have this previously frozen chowder mix, some shrimp, I've got lobster, and I also have some jarred clams. All my chowders have potatoes and carrots, so potatoes are diced and in. Added carrots and onions, so let's get the water in here and get it boiling. All right, this is the shrimp and the seafood mix. In a frying pan, I've got butter. Let's cook this up. I need to put the lobster in here as well to help thaw it. It's still a bit frozen. Bar clams are just very, very large clams. So I've got them out of the jar, I've rinsed them, and I'm just going to dice them up into really small, fine pieces. Just like that, ready to go into the frying pan. I added the contents of the frying. Okay, no. First I drained the potatoes, onions, and carrots and put them back in the pot. Then I added the contents of the frying pan, the whole contents, into the pot as well. And then I added, and I did this off the burner, then I added in all of the cream that I had left, and it was about 3/4 of that liter. Then I added lots of summer savory. You can see the little flecks there floating around. Oh, you can see it on the butter. Lots of summer savory, and I cut a little slab of butter and put on the top. I've got this on low heat. As everything heats through, the butter will melt and the flavor will go through everything. Very excited about this. It's going to be amazing. And this is in my small pot. Normally when I make a pot of chowder, it's in my big, big pot. It costs to acquire the ingredients, but because, so that means like I just make a big thing of it. But because we already had the lobster, we already had the cream, we already had the clams, and I was able to get the other items discounted in the flash food offer. This is very exciting, not expensive at all. Delicious seafood chowder for the long weekend. Yay. Our lake has a plane. Kind of fun. Toasted raisin bagels. There's just something about cheese whiz on a raisin bagel. Yummy. The handsome one agrees with me. There's just something about either raisin bread or raisin bagels and cheese whiz. Operation Freezer Clean Out. This little pack of mini tart shells has been in there a long time. Let's just see if I can find an expiration date on it. Oh, December 2025. I'm going to say that they've been in there for at least a year, so that's still good that they're still in date. I'm going to cook these up, and then we're going to make some tarts. All right, they're supposed to be 18. These are 17 because I'm not using one of them. See that on the bottom there? I'm not happy with that, so I'm not going to use that. That one can go right in the compost. I have a few True North butter tart packages left. These were a favorite of our household when Epicure was selling them, but they were discontinued before Epicure went bankrupt in January. So I have a few little packages left, and what better day to make up a batch of butter tarts than Labor Day? Welcome to Labor Day. Let's have some little treats. 1/4 of a cup of warm water, 1/4 of a cup of butter. Ooh, one-handed, yes. 1 egg, one-handed. I'll whisk this all together and then add in the package mix. And we will add in the package mix. I'm waiting for my tarts to bake now, and then I'll let them cool a tiny bit, pour this in, and then we will rebake. I'll let these cool down before I add in the mixture and put them back in the oven to bake again. Butter tarts. Yummy. Those look great. Oh, I forgot to put pecans in it, and I think I have some in my baking supplies. Nuts. For supper tonight, we are going to have chicken burgers. I'm also doing a medley of veggies on the barbecue, and Handsome Mom wants super spirals. This will give us a little side. It's the yellow zucchini, some red onion, and some of the green and red pepper. Put in some butter, and I think I'll add a seasoning into this. Chicken burgers with grilled or barbecued veggies, and what were these called? Super spirals, or I think of them in my mind as curly fries. I am definitely having ketchup with mine. Looks delicious. I put barbecue sauce on my chicken burger. Looks good. It's early. It's September. It's time for pumpkin spice. Yes, I frothed that before I made my coffee. And looking at my garden, and of course little dogs that are running around. Morning coffees and garden looking. That is the thrill when you get to be my age. That's the fun of life. These buns came out of groceries 2 weeks ago. We have some left. I saw a little bag kind of peeking out, and I thought, what is this bag? And I realized that these are 2 buns that were left over from the week before that. Yes, they're still fine. But we're going to use those 2 buns. I'm going to squish them down flat. And I am going to make grilled cheese sandwiches. We're going to use some of the cold cuts that I got at Gateway the last time I was there. We popped them in the freezer. And we are going to have, this is what we're having for lunch. We're each only having 1. So they're going to be doublies, and they're going to be good. First step, buttering the buns. All right, layer 1, layer 2, these are going to be, oh my goodness, I can't even get that other piece. These are going to be great. Very exciting. Big fat grilled cheese. So far, so good. These don't look delicious. Now I just got to decide what we're going to have with it as a side. A few cut radishes, a couple dilled carrots. I just opened that jar of preserves out of the cupboard. I'm also being mindful of making sure the old stuff is being used up before I start adding new preserves into there. Yummy lunch. Look at that gooey cheese. We have leftover seafood chowder. So I just pulled this out of the fridge. Let's heat this up. And we are going to use these French onion soup straws that I got on clearance at Superstore a couple weeks ago. This is how they turned out. It's funny, they don't look like much, but the house smells amazing of the cheese. It smells really good in here. So, very curious to try these. Seafood chowder and cheese and onion stuffed pastries. Looks delicious. And we still have enough left for a lunch. Not too, no, I wouldn't say 2 lunches. Definitely a lunch. The handsome one and I did a fun activity yesterday. It was Labor Day, and we decided to go to the last day of a local blueberry U-pick. So this is local to us. The U-pick was called Reamer Gardens. It's located in Waterville, Nova Scotia, and it didn't take us very long at all to pick these, and the pints were $3 each. We are going to use some of these for fresh eating, but I haven't made jam in a couple years, so I'm going to say at least, well, I say 2/3. 2/3 of these are going to go towards blueberry jam. I'm excited. Bedtime snack. These are so good. They turned out amazing. Now that we have gone to the U-pick and have blueberries, we're going to use some of those blueberries in a smoothie. Also some kale from the garden, flaxseed, protein powder, a little bit of a yogurt drink, and some juice. All right, let's get the Swiss chard in. And the lid on. And let's... It's looking good. Awesome. I'm quite excited about these. Yummy blueberry banana smoothies. I stumbled across a website probably close to 15, 20 years ago now that I've been using ever since when I make jams, jellies, anything like that. And it's called pickyourown.org. 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 If you have never made jam before, they give you step-by-step, including pictures. So when I was a new preserver and I was making jam for the very first time, I was actually making blackberry jam. Our old property was just loaded with blackberry bushes. I went to just do a Google search, and this is one of the sites that came up, and I loved it, and I continue to go back. So I highly recommend it. So I'm just using the blueberry jam instructions off of pickyourown.org. Here's my washed blueberries. They're not prepared yet. So I want to end up with approximately 6 to 7 cups of prepared berries. So I'm starting with almost 10 cups of unprocessed berries. I'm just going to use my potato masher, and I'm going to mash them up. So far, so good. I've added the lemon juice, the water. I have mixed the pectin in with about 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm going to add that in and then bring it to a hard boil. I need to bring the pectin, lemon juice, blueberries, and water to a boil that cannot be stirred away. So we call a hard boil, and that is a boil that cannot be stirred away. I'm pretty much there. This is the point where you add your sweetener. So whether you're using sugar or stevia or whatever, I prefer a no sugar needed pectin. And then I add a very small quantity of sugar. It is a low sugar jam. So I just added 2 cups of sugar. So that will be, of course, for my whole batch. But I didn't put the full 2 cups in. I reserved a little bit aside. I use 1 full package of pectin, and you'll see this one's open, and typically about 1/4 to 1/3 of a pack of a second box of it. And I saved a little bit of the sugar out. I need to stir this. I saved a little bit of the sugar out because if the jam hasn't set as firmly as what I would like, then I can add more pectin into the sugar reserve that I have, bring it to a boil, and see if it sets better then. Looking good. The 4 in the back and the 3 in the front are preserved as per regular preserving techniques. They will go in the cupboard. And the 2 on the end with the black lids, those are not preserved. They're just in storage containers, and they're going to go right in the fridge for fresh eating. Of course, once they cool, they're still quite hot. Operation Freezer Purge continues. These are some meatballs that I had in the freezer. We're going to cook these up, and we're going to have these for supper tonight. Meatballs, mashed potatoes, and broccoli. There is cheese on the broccoli. I don't have a sauce on the meatballs yet. I think I'm just going to use barbecue sauce, and I'm not sure what the handsome one wants. That looks better. Very yummy. We've got leftovers of everything, and this will be perfect for the handsome one for tomorrow night. I am going to be away for lunch and for supper. He's on his own. And this is for the handsome one for tomorrow. Lunch is the leftover seafood chowder. Supper is meatballs, mashed potatoes, and broccoli, and there are lots of other things for him to eat and snack on. I think that we used 5 or 6 items again this week out of the freezer. Meatballs, the lobster, 1 package of those onion soup straws. Even though those are fairly new, they're still taking up space in the freezer. We had chicken burgers and lobster. Did I say that already? I'm grasping at straws. What else did I get out of there? I still feel like we did really good. Oh, and something that we used up out of our preserves that didn't come out of the freezer were the bar clams. So I've had those for a while, and that makes me happy that I was able to incorporate those into a meal. We made pickles. So I've never made that particular recipe with sliced cucumbers. So I've used that recipe before many times for dilled carrots. I made blueberry jam. First time in, I'm going to say probably 3 years, 2 or 3 years that I made jam. What I'm trying to do is kind of track how much I'm making and how long that lasts me. And typically, everything but salsa lasts us 2 years. So if I make beet pickles, I usually make beet pickles every other year because they last. Mustard pickles, the same. So I'm kind of trying to figure that out. Salsa, I make multiple batches, and we always eat through it. We're currently totally out, and because we're way behind seasonal wise with the garden, we haven't made any more. I don't want to buy produce to make it because I really am confident that within the next few weeks we will have produce from the garden that I will be able to make it from my own supplies. All in all, I just think that we did really well. What do you guys think? If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate it if you would do so. It will help me. And likes, comments, shares, they help me as well. So let me know your thoughts. And of course, I do want to touch just one little bit on the craft promo. I know I've been talking about that a lot. I have been getting some comments that people don't feel like this is what the channel is about. My channel is just about being frugal and saving money. And this is a way that I think it's incredibly frugal. Not only am I making purchases for myself, I'm taking advantage of the hacks that I know to make purchases for my mother. That's helping her. My mother-in-law, that's helping her. I went to the store with my sister. She wanted to make sure that she was doing the purchase properly. That's helping her. I'm making some care packs with some of the products. So, I mean, I do feel that that is very frugal. Let me know your thoughts on that as well. Thanks, guys.